It's nice to get onto an agenda which is a positive one, rather than the doom and gloom messages that I've been issuing for the past few months. Unfortunately, those doom and gloom messages will be part of my vocabulary, at least for the next few days. It is, though, I think, a positive context that I want to try and get over this morning. And indeed, I don't have much of a problem in getting over that positive context, because what we've heard so far on Exchange Square has been very, very positive indeed. So, what I'm wanting to do is set the wider context. Glenn's been very good in setting the context for Exchange Square. What I want to do is move it out just a little bit further and give some consideration to the opportunities over the next 25 years or thereabouts to put even more activity within the wider city centre. And so what I want to do is talk about the Enterprise Zone initiative, and indeed just to give you some sort of detail on that. Now, not a very good map, but a long time ago we actually redefined what the city centre was, and it was everything within the what was then the Middle Ring Road, we now know as the Ring Road. And so the outer boundary on that map is indeed the Ring Road, and gives us the definition, if you like, of the city centre. And what we're talking about here is a designation of an enterprise zone which was made by the Greater Birmingham and Solihull LEP way back in April of 2001. It was a major initiative because what it was not a single site, but a number of sites which collectively are now known as the Enterprise Zone. And it responds, in my view, to a particular vision or a strategy which is about what Birmingham is presently, and indeed what it is seeking to become. I'm talking about Birmingham as a regional capital of the West Midlands, not as a small provincial town, but as a regional capital. The aspirations which lie behind the regional capital vision or strategy. The city already has a diverse economy, one which has a broad range of both manufacturing and service interests. It is already an established financial centre, and it already has a huge range of professional services within the city centre. And increasingly, all of that sits alongside a growing set of digital industries and creative industries moving out through East Side into Digbeth. And so the designation of the Enterprise Zone is about trying to ensure the accelerated delivery of the growth of the city centre. If I put that into the sort of movement context that Glenn also put Exchange Square into, what I've tried to show here is, in general terms, the sites which are clustered in about 7 different clusters, although that map would tend to suggest just 6 clusters. But there are 26 sites within the 7 clusters, and they are identified, or were identified, as providing the growth opportunities for the future. A range of locations, a range of incentives which are sitting behind this Enterprise Zone concept. What we'll have as a consequence is simplified planning processes or procedures. There will be a digital infrastructure in the Jewellery Quarter, in East Side and in Digbeth. Little problem with that at the present moment in time, because BT and others have gone to the European Commission and suggested that we are not taking this forward on a fair trading basis, so they've appealed to the European Commission on state aid rules. But I hope that will get itself sorted, and therefore that we can move ahead and put that digital infrastructure in place. The enterprise zone designation will also bring with it business support services and an investment in the infrastructure around the enterprise zone. Now, Glenn tried to put Exchange Square into that context of what lies immediately around Exchange Square. The enterprise zone, the city centre and its wider environs is of course served by excellent public infrastructure. There is a diverse mix of cultural, recreation and leisure opportunities. We already have a regional shopping centre in terms of the Bullring. And we don't say it often enough, but we have the UK's, one of the UK's largest financial centres outside of London. There are a number of significant regional and national HQs within the area, and as Glenn also said, this city centre area is home to a number of outstanding educational institutions. Aston University, Birmingham City University, University College Birmingham, Birmingham Metropolitan College, Ormiston Academy, and the Aston University Engineering Academy. They all sit in a long stone's throw of this location. And so I think what we're talking about is a location here which is an enviable one, and probably no other city in the country outside of London can offer up this as an opportunity. Now, what are going to be the outcomes? We're talking here about short-term opportunities, medium and long-term opportunities, and opportunities which will span out over perhaps, say, 25 years. There is, as the slide indicates, the objective of delivering up on something like 700,000 square metres. I've used the metre designation rather than the square foot designation, but some of you can no doubt translate from one to the other. So some 700,000 square metres of new office space. That will sit alongside something like 600,000 square metres of new leisure and recreational space. We think there is about 40,000 new jobs that will come in as a consequence of this activity over the next 25 years. And of course, that issue there that sits in the middle of that slide of gross value added is the key to the enterprise zone. Of course, what we're doing is using the business rates uplift and borrowing on the back of the business rates uplift in order to put the investment in place. Now, these numbers start to get large. The potential here is for something of the order of an 800–900 million pound investment in the enterprise zones as a consequence of the business rate uplift against which we will borrow. And I think that's a fairly massive investment, and really it gave the Birmingham City deal, which is within which this enterprise zone initiative sits. It gave the Birmingham City deal a particularly innovative feel to it, using the business rates uplift that comes from development in order to put the infrastructure in place. And so what this brings about, I have no doubt, is an expansion of the central business district. It takes it westwards into the Arena, Central and Paradise Circus sites. It takes it northwards to include Snow Hill, and there is the longer term aspect of taking it to the east as well. Now, the first phase of this is an investment plan for 2013 to 2018, some £128 million of investment over the next 5 years. 76 million of that has already been earmarked for enabling work to open up different sites and to support the development of those sites, with some 61 million of that 76 million for Paradise Circus to unlock the first phase of the development of that particular site. Of that 128 million, 43 million has been focused on providing on the energy requirements of the area, on access and transport solutions, with 25 million of that 43 million earmarked for an extension of the metro from Stevenson Place up to Broad Street. There is also some 5 million in that package, which is there for training opportunities, for advice, for consulting, for financial support. So we have, in terms of the first phase, not just a large investment package, but one which actually does cover a number of aspects of support. So, and I think this is where I probably end up, what is going to be forthcoming? Well, it does say the 22nd of February on that slide, and since we are now on the 21st of February, or at the 21st of February, I'm talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be the launch of the Enterprise Zone prospectus. This document sets out much of what it is I have spoken about. It provides information on the competitive advantages that businesses locating here into the Enterprise Zone area will have. It will set out the benefits that will come from the Enterprise Zone. And we have none other than the Chancellor of the Exchequer involved in the process tomorrow. So the launch of the Enterprise Zone prospectus is 24 hours away or thereabouts, and the documentation will be then available to you. It sets out in rather greater detail what it is I've generally spoken about, and I'm hopeful that the business community, the developer community here in Birmingham and beyond will be actually quite interested to follow through on the opportunities that the Enterprise Zone does provide to the city. Thanks very much for the opportunity to speak.